Let's talk about the moon. How was it formed? The leading idea is that it was likely formed by an impact when the Earth was very young, by an object about the size of Mars. All right. What evidence do they have for this? An impact would explain why the moon is mostly rock. It would explain why it is less dense and why there's less heavy elements. I'm not sure what the E did just there. It would also explain why the moon is about 100 million years younger than the Earth. Okay. What do we know about the moon? The moon's surface is dark gray. These are the lowlands, and they look dark gray in color because they are lava. Ancient old-timey guys would have called this the Maria or the seas because they had a dark color, much like our oceans are darker. The bright highlands were called the Terrae or the land. If you look at the moon, when it is clear, you can see the difference in colors. Much like the sun, the moon has different layers. The innermost layer is the core. The core is about 400 to 700 kilometers across. The next layer is the lithosphere. And it is about 1,000 kilometers thick. And the outermost layer is the crust. Ooh, that was not a good circle. And the crust is only about 65 to 150 kilometers thick. So, the moon is not very big. What else do we know about the moon? The atmosphere. So we know there's no oxygen on the moon. We cannot breathe the air. It is largely made up of neon, argon, and helium. The atmosphere is very thin. And since the atmosphere is thin, there are wide temperature swings between night and day. When it is hot, it's about 400 degrees Kelvin, and when it's cold, it's about 100 degrees Kelvin. We talked about how the Earth goes through a rotation and revolution, and the moon does as well. Except for the moon, both the revolution and its rotation takes 27.3 days. This means it rotates and revolves at the same speed. When something rotates and revolves at the same speed, that is called a synchronous orbit. What that means is we always see the same face of the moon. Okay. What is the face of the moon that we see? The moon goes through 8 phases in a month. 8 phases. So, please imagine these circles are all the same. I'm going to do my best. If we had a lab about this, ooh, that's a good one. Let me see if I can't copy that. Haha, maybe I can't. Ah, there we go. Let's just make 8 copies, shall we? Now, let me see if I can make my 8 copies. Maybe I won't be able to. 2. Oh, that's a good one. 3. 4. Oh, hey, I'm getting pretty good at this. Oh, that sucked. Oh, there we go. 5. 6. All right, and for the sake of argument, you guys are just going to have to imagine that they all look the same. I would really appreciate that. our first moon is our new moon, and this is the one that we cannot see. Had I been on the ball, I would have started this before I started doing the video, but live and learn. So, this is the new moon. The next phase is our crescent. So this is our waxing. It's our first quarter. Here's our waxing. Gibbous. Here's our full moon. Here's our waning gibbous. Here's our third quarter. And here's our waning crescent. So our waning crescent. And the wanings are just the opposite of the waxings. There we go. So there are 8 phases of the moon. I'm going to talk about these 3 in particular. Number 1, the new moon. The new moon occurs. We cannot see it. The moonrise is at sunrise. And the moonset is at sunset. So it just is not in the sky for us to see. The first quarter occurs 1 week after the new moon. And the full moon occurs 2 weeks after the new moon. Moonrise is at sunset. And the moonset is at sunrise. Now, I did not talk about how the moons affect our tides or solar and lunar eclipses. It looks like that is going to be in the next talk.